Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, June 14th. Some heavy rain fell last night in the Mid-Atlantic region, including some strong thunderstorm activity as well. We have a nice break in the action to end the work week and to begin the weekend. Today and tomorrow will be relatively nice days in the Mid-Atlantic region, although winds will gust past 35 miles per hour or so today in the Mid-Atlantic region, but there will be plenty of sunshine and comfortably low humidity levels. Tomorrow, it looks like winds will shift from the northwest today to the southwest tomorrow, and that will boost temperatures from the low to mid 70s for highs this afternoon to the low to mid 80s on Saturday. Quite breezy again on Saturday, but again, those winds will be out of the southwest on Saturday, and that southwesterly flow of air will contribute to increasing humidity levels as we progress through the upcoming weekend and really help to set the stage for what I think will be a stormy period from Sunday through at least Thursday of next week in the Mid-Atlantic region. And that stormy period can include some strong to severe thunderstorms as early as late Sunday and then again late Monday in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Before we get to the short to medium term forecast, let's take a look at sea surface temperature anomalies. We haven't done that in a while here. Let's focus in on the Atlantic Ocean. Two main areas of interest that I want to point out. Of course, the tropical season in the Atlantic Basin officially began on June 1st, and sea surface temperatures certainly play a pivotal role. And a couple things I want to point out. Notice, first of all, kind of this ring of cooler than normal conditions here, indicated by the blues here, along the west coast of Africa and all the way up into the North Atlantic. Lots of cooler than normal conditions here, and this is playing a role right now. It's been relatively quiet off the west coast of Africa, and it looks like it'll remain relatively quiet over the next few weeks. Cooler than normal conditions this time of the year is an inhibiting factor for tropical storm formation, and typically you have African wave type of tropical activity during the first half of the Atlantic Basin tropical season, where waves form off the west coast of Africa and move from east to west in the trade winds. Well, with this cooler than normal condition out here in the eastern Atlantic, that's kind of an inhibiting factor, and it will continue to be that way over the next several weeks. Now, during the second half of an Atlantic Basin tropical season, you typically find more what I like to call homegrown tropical systems that form closer to the east coast of the U.S. or the Gulf Coast of the U.S. and warmer than normal conditions throughout the Gulf of Mexico and the southeastern part, off the southeastern coastline here, will aid in perhaps some homegrown tropical activity during the latter part of the tropical season, let's say August, September, and certainly even going into the fall season. So warmer than normal conditions out over the Gulf of Mexico and off the southeast U.S. coastline, but cooler than normal off the west coast of Africa. Looks like African wave type tropical activity will be somewhat suppressed over the next several weeks, but then watch out for some homegrown type tropical activity, which with storms forming over the Gulf of Mexico or over the Bahamas or just off the eastern seaboard. And again, that typically happens more frequently during the latter half of the Atlantic Basin tropical season. Well, let's now focus in on the short and medium term forecast for the U.S. First of all, this is the 7-day outlook for total rainfall as depicted by NOAA from this morning, Friday morning, to next Friday morning, and the same kind of pattern we've seen over the past several months, basically, with significant rainfall amounts in the eastern two-thirds of the nation. Here, again, this is for the next 7 days. Look at the significant rainfall from the south-central U.S. all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region and even in New England. And again, I think we're setting up for a stormy period here in the Mid-Atlantic region from about Sunday to at least Wednesday or Thursday of next week. That can include some strong to severe thunderstorm activity late Sunday, late Monday as well, but very active weather pattern, a very wet weather pattern for the eastern two-thirds of the nation. The only area of the nation that really escapes this wet weather is the western third of the nation. But notice here the Sierra Nevada mountains continue to get some precipitation here over the next week. They, of course, were inundated with tremendous amounts of snow over the winter and the early part of the spring. Continue to get some precipitation in the form of rain over the next 7 days. Well, if you take a look at the current surface map, you might think the Mid-Atlantic region might be setting up for a long stage of nice weather. We have strong high pressure here following the passage of this cold front last night. Again, that cold front did produce some strong thunderstorms and some heavy downpours, even a tornado warning just south of Philadelphia. I don't believe anything was reported on the ground, however. But what happens is this high pressure area moves off the eastern seaboard on Saturday, and a southwesterly flow of increasingly humid air develops first over the Ohio Valley and then transitions to the eastern seaboard by Sunday. By Sunday, will be warmer and more humid, and a cold frontal system will come out of this part of the nation, the northwest, slide towards the eastern seaboard late Sunday, and then stall out. Stalled out front with a southwesterly flow at all levels of the atmosphere will set the stage for a stormy weather pattern in the Mid-Atlantic region from Sunday right through Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Well, let's take a look at last night's GEFS, the ensemble run of the GFS at 6Z. We're looking at the 500 millibar level because I want to point out multiple waves of energy coming our way over the next several days. Not today and tomorrow. Again, a break in the action for Friday and Saturday, but this particular wave pushes on out of here. Can be an isolated shower, by the way, later today in northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, perhaps even New York City metro region, but for the most part, a sunny, windy day to close out the work week. But here we go into the weekend here, and just watch. There's a couple of areas of instability in the upper part of the atmosphere. We're looking at 500 millibars. That's all you need is a little bit of instability this time of the year. Notice the flow in the upper part of the atmosphere kind of tending to become a zonal, west to east type of flow, and that's important because a frontal system will stall out in that kind of a flow. But here's a little wave of energy right here over the Mid-Atlantic region, late Sunday going into Sunday night again. That can contribute to some strong to perhaps even severe thunderstorm activity in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, late Sunday, Sunday night, and to areas to the north and west of the I-95 region. Let's keep moving forward here. Another wave of energy here on Monday, late Monday, closes in on the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic region. And we just keep moving farther along here into the middle part of next week. Another wave of energy depicted here by the GEFS from last night out over the middle part of the country. And again, that'll contribute to instability here from Sunday right through at least Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Well, now let's take a look at the surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS model run. By the way, the GFS model underwent a major upgrade a couple of days ago and now has an updated dynamical core, which is supposed to improve the accuracy of the wind and the pressure calculations within the model here. So this is kind of an upgraded version now of the GFS model that is now the operational version by NOAA here. First of all, notice this pressure gradient between the departing low pressure area in southeastern Canada and the approaching high pressure system over the Tennessee Valley. All these black lines here represent lines of equal pressure, isobars. The tighter they are, the stronger the winds, and the winds typically run parallel or flow parallel to the isobar pattern here. So northwest winds will increase in intensity over the next couple of hours and reaching gusts of 35 miles per hour or so during the midday and afternoon in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Let's now push forward here. Again, isolated shower possible upstate New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania during the midday and afternoon hours. Generally, though, a rain-free day for the I-95 corridor region. Still windy this afternoon. And tonight, the winds will die down rather rapidly right around sunset, shortly after sunset, setting the stage for a cool night. Good night for radiational cooling. Temperatures by tomorrow morning way down in the 50s in the I-95 corridor region. And then watch what happens here on Saturday. Here we go, Saturday morning here. High pressure shifts off the eastern seaboard. And let's take a look at this flow of air here. This is now winds flowing parallel to these isobars. Will come out of the southwest on Saturday, first in the Ohio Valley, and then that will shift to the eastern seaboard here by later Saturday. Southwesterly flow. So we might boost our afternoon temperatures between this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon by some 5 to 10 degrees, perhaps low to mid 70s for this afternoon, which is well below normal, by the way. High temperatures today should reach about 82 degrees at Philly International Airport. We might be 72 degrees for highs this afternoon. But then, with this shift in the winds to southwest by Saturday afternoon, low to mid 80s on Saturday, and that will bring in increasingly more humid air by the time we get to Sunday, Father's Day. And notice here, a frontal system slowly moving from the northwest to the southeast, and given that flow in the upper part of the atmosphere that we focused in on over the past couple of minutes, that will become zonal or more west to east. This front will just basically stall out in the mid-Atlantic region here throughout the Ohio Valley, basically oriented like this from maybe the west to the east or maybe southwest to northeast. Humid air in place, setting the stage for strong to potentially severe thunderstorm activity, I believe, with that upper level of vorticity max closing in late Sunday evening. And we may have a repeat performance here on Monday afternoon, Monday evening, perhaps. Again, some strong to severe thunderstorms. And if we just progress through much of next week, you'll see greens on the screen here for much of next week. Here we are now by the middle part of next week. Still some instability. Wednesday, here we go now. Thursday, another system moving our way. So certainly all the way to Friday morning. Perhaps Friday we'll see a frontal patches that may clear things out for a couple of days. But a stormy pattern setting up for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday of next week in the Mid-Atlantic region. It could include some strong to severe thunderstorms. It certainly can include some more downpours. All that follows a nice break in the action for Friday and Saturday. Strong wind gusts today of up to 35 miles per hour or so out of the northwest. Quite breezy on Saturday as well, perhaps 25 miles per hour or so, but those winds will be out of the southwest. That will contribute or help to boost afternoon temperatures tomorrow to the low to mid 80s from the low to mid 70s this afternoon, and the humidity will become noticeable on Sunday. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.